Welcome to DigiCam Deathmatch, where we take some of the best digicams over the past 25 years and pit them against each other to find the best digicam for us, or potentially even for you. For season 1, we have 16 digicams competing in a Sweet 16 style tournament format. All cameras were chosen in a random draw and pitted against each other. Now in round 3, we have the Canon G5X Mark II versus the Nikon A1000.
Now for all the cameras to qualify, they had to meet a certain criteria first. They had to be under $1,000 USD, either new or used. Batteries and memory cards needed to be readily available on platforms like Amazon. And they had to be able to fit into your pocket. Or if you're like me and you don't have very big pockets or any at all, then to fit in a very small bag. We call this pocketable.
This season features digicams from almost every major camera manufacturer, including Canon, Sony, Lumix, Fuji, Nikon, HP, Samsung, and Pentax.
The cameras are all pitted against each other and ranked on the following categories: price, image quality, zoom, aperture, pocketability, color and vibe, ease of use, screen, fun factor, and with bonus points given for flash, macro, flip screen, and EVF. All the digicams in the tournament were used extensively on various photo outings for over a month. But for today, we're gonna take these two out on a mano-a-mano deathmatch style, where only one will make it on to the next round.
All the photos you're gonna see today in the video are taken JPEG straight out of each of these cameras. Now we try to tweak the color settings in cameras the best we can to get the best look out of these digicams. So if you like that style, we will leave those color settings at the end of the video so you can take those styles home with you.
So come and take a photo walk with us and judge for yourselves. And we are back in the studio like we never left. Let's see which of these DigiCams moves on to fight another day.
Now keep in mind, guys, that we only shot photos for a couple hours today, but we have owned both of these DigiCams for well over a month, so our rankings are based on that combined experience.
Now, each DigiCam is awarded 1 point for each category 1, and in the event of a tie, both cameras will get a point.
We also award extra points in the price category for every $200 cheaper a DigiCam is from the DigiCam it's competing against.
So speaking of that, let's start with price. So we purchased the G5X Mark II for $750 used, and the Nikon A1000 for $300 used. So with that price difference, the Nikon A1000 receives 2 extra points in addition to the 0.1 for the price round.
Next up, we have image quality. This one is a no-brainer. The Canon G5X Mark II stomps the Nikon A1000 in image quality. So the point goes to the G5X.
And next up we have Pocketability. While both cameras are similar in size, and you can see width-wise they're quite similar, we do save height-wise with the pop-up EVF on the Canon G5X Mark II. So that one's gonna take the win for this round.
Next up we have zoom. The Canon G5X Mark II has a full-frame equivalent zoom range of 24 to 105 millimeters, while the Nikon A1000 has a zoom range of 35 millimeters to 840 millimeters. And I didn't screw that up. I had to Google that and verify it, 840 millimeters. I don't even know how it does it, but it does it. So the winning goes to the Nikon A1000 for this round.
And next we've got Aperture. The Nikon A1000 has an aperture range of 3.4 to 6.9, while the G5X Mark II has an aperture range of 1.8 to 2.8. So the Canon takes it for this one.
Next up, we have colors and vibe. Keep in mind, guys, this category is very subjective, but in our opinion, the Canon G5X Mark II just has a better presence to it when shooting photos. I know a lot of people rave about Canon color science. I don't know if that's playing here or not. We did modify things in both these cameras to try to get the best looks out of them. But even modifying them as much as we could in camera for these JPEGs, the Canon just hit every single time. It looked great. The Nikon did have moments where it looked really good, but at the end of the day, the Canon had more flexibility. There were more tweaks we probably could have made to this if we wanted to keep going. There were so many options that even what we came up with for this photo shoot could be improved upon or even changed for another photo shoot. So at the end of it all, the Canon G5X Mark II takes this win.
And our next category is ease of use. While the Nikon A1000 was not difficult to use by any means, the Canon was a lot easier to hold with the grips that it has, as well as there's a lot of space on the back for your thumb. I am one of those people where my thumb and fingers are constantly pressing buttons by accident, which happened a lot with the Nikon A1000, as you can see on the back. There's just not as much room. The other thing that we found really enjoyable is the buttons on the back of the G5X Mark II are customizable, so you can actually shoot the way you want to shoot. So that one gives the Canon the win for the round.
Next up, we have screen. This one was a tricky category for us because both of these cameras actually have very big, bright LCD screens, and both of them, for the most part, you can see what's going on in bright sunlight or in the shade. So there wasn't like an issue as we've had in the past on DigiCam Deathmatch where it was hard to operate the cameras depending on where the light was. But I will say, going through both cameras and kind of really just tinkering with them, you do get more accurate colors in the G5X Mark II screen. The Nikon screen is visible and you can tell what you're taking a photo of, but what you're seeing on the screen isn't always represented in the picture when you go back and look at it. Where on the Canon G5X Mark II, whatever you're seeing on that screen when you snap that photo is exactly what the JPEG looks like when you go back and review it later. So for this round, we're gonna have to give it to the G5X Mark II.
And on that note, next one is fun factor. For the round of fun factor, keep in mind we are both very tactile photographers, so anytime we can push a button instead of going into the menu, we tend to prefer that. So starting with the Canon G5X Mark II, there were a few features that we really enjoyed with this one, starting with the control ring. It is customizable, so you can set it to aperture, ISO, zoom, whatever you want, which we really enjoyed. We also have the pop-up EVF and the pop-up flash, which are really fun features. While there was nothing technically wrong with the A1000, and while it was okay to go out and shoot, it just didn't offer the same features that the G5X Mark II did. So for that, this one takes the round.
Next up, we have our bonus categories, starting with flash. And as we see already, the G5X Mark II does have a flash. The Nikon itself does have a flash as well that we can actually trigger up and fire off. So both cameras actually get a point for having a flash. Our next category is flip screen, and both cameras do have a flip screen. The Canon G5X has a flip screen that can articulate in a bunch of fun ways, and if you want to, you can even flip it around and you've got your nice little selfie mode if you want to take that selfie. So that one definitely gets a point for it. The Nikon as well has a flip out screen, so that can pull out and get down low for those low shots. You can also pull it back, and if you want to take a selfie, it does that same thing by flipping downward. What the fuck is that, Nikon? I know why they did it. Guys, they did it because the EVF is built in, so they flipped it up. It would hit that EVF. It wouldn't be able to do it like other cameras do. They also aren't in that period of time where they were doing that flip out side screen. So Nikon still wanted to give you that selfie thing by flipping it downwards on the screen. So both cameras get a point for having a flip out screen. But what the fuck, Nikon? Seriously, this is just weird.
The last two bonus points are for EVF and macro, and both cameras have both, so they each get 2 points for that. Now that is our rankings, and we are sticking to them. If you disagree, feel free to deathmatch it out in the comments below. And with a whopping-ish 11 to 8 points, the Canon G5X Mark II takes the win.
So the Canon G5X Mark II moves on to our quarterfinal round. So thank you guys so much for hanging out, and tune in next episode when we take on the Pentax WG8 versus the Samsung ES65. So Samsung ES65 versus the Pentax WG8 on the next episode.
And always remember, the best camera is the one you have on you. Later.